r/NoSleep. Posted by u/oldboysenberry3076. It rained down here in my town of Blackwood, and those who went in it didn't come back the same. Part 3. I stayed up in that attic for around 6 hours. They just wouldn't leave. No matter how much I pleaded to them in my mind, no matter how much I cried in my brain for them to go away, they wouldn't. They just wandered my house looking for me, or anyone else that might be in my house. I swear though, I heard a distinct smell and sound from one of the crimson beasts. Dollface. He was alive, I knew he was. The hate-filled face of it was imprinted into my brain, itching to get its hands on my throat so it could suffocate me. I knew it was tearing my doors down, lifting my bed, shuffling through my closet. It didn't just want to kill me, that was just their natural instinct. It loathed me, it wanted to crush me. Maybe it felt that way because I simply got away, maybe because I had humiliated it in front of the other monsters. Perhaps they have regular human emotions like we do. I could imagine the rest of them mocking him. Ha, look at Dollface, he got beaten by a weak human. What a shitty loser, what a dumb fuck. Or maybe it wanted revenge because I simply heard it. In the end, it didn't matter why, all that mattered now was getting out. I knew I couldn't stay in the attic forever. The hunger growled in my stomach, whispering to me to get something to feed it. But besides hunger, there was the thirst. The attic was always hot, at the very least lukewarm on winter days. By now, I was completely drenched in rotten-smelling sweat, the attic keeping the rancid stink inside, the heat rapidly draining my body's water supply. Now here's the thing, if someone tells you the first thing you need to do if you're lost in the wilderness is to find food. Sorry to tell you, but their mouth is full of bullshit. A human can survive up to 6 weeks without a scrap of food. Sure, it won't be comfy or feel good, but 6 weeks is usually enough time for the search party to find you and bring you back. Water on the other hand is a different story, because 3 to 4 days with any sort of H20, and you can kiss your ass goodbye. I couldn't wait 3 to 4 days, and luckily I didn't have to, because at the 5-hour and 30-minute mark, the loud steps of the monsters stopped, and the shuffling of items ceased. They had all given up on the search, and had left my house. This was the chance I had been waiting for. I knew I might not get another. But I decided to wait another 30 minutes, in case they were smart enough to set traps. 30 minutes later, and nothing changed. But in those 30 minutes I had plenty to think about. Okay, so what am I going to do when I get out of here? That was a question I needed answered. Since I had been so busy being scared for my life, I now had time to plan to avoid the Reds. Reds. A simple name but fitting for them, I thought. My car was in my driveway, so I figured that if the creatures were in fact outside my house, I could grab the keys and sneakily get to the car. After that, I would go. Where would I go? That's then the questions began to get scary. How many of these things are there? How many people are there? Are the police still around, or have they already been wiped out? Then came the question I didn't want an answer to. What if I'm the last person alive? I shook my head thinking about it. There was no time to ask questions about that. I took a deep breath as I made my way toward the door. I made my plan. Get some supplies, get the keys, get to the car, get out. I put my hands on the wooden hatch, and opened it. Before actually going down, I poked my head out, and looked left and right. The coast looked clear, so I left the ladder fall, and climbed down to see the devastation in my house. It looked as if a miniature tornado had raged in my home. Pieces of the walls were on the floor, my furniture in my room was flipped and broken in pieces. The bathroom door was smashed in, and the bathtub and toilet were scattered on the floor. Before descending down the stairs, I went back in my room, crouching so any Reds that might be on the street wouldn't see me. Then I grabbed my bat, which had a small dent in it, and my phone, which I have been using to make these posts. Descending down the stairs, some of which had caved in due to the weight of some of the Reds. Still crouching, I went to my kitchen, grabbing the keys which were on my kitchen counter, and silent as a bug, went towards the busted-in door, taking a peek to see the streets. The street was similar to how I'd seen it before, full of corpses devoid of their blood. A quick scan, and it seemed as though there were no Reds walking along the street. Perhaps they figured this place was empty, and went out someplace else to find more prey. But why did they want us? I had never actually seen what they did to those they caught. Just another question in the long list. Tiptoeing to the car, always observing my surroundings, I opened the door and got in, and put the keys in the ignition. I started the car, got out of the driveway, and went down the deserted road, the birds picking at the eyeballs of the deceased. My house was near the center of Blackwood, so it would take me a while to get out of the town, considering the crashed cars, rubble, and bloodless corpses a ring as roadblocks. Of particular concern were the new corpses. The only ones I had seen before were the ones that had purged, the ones where reds came out of. But these ones were unscathed. In fact, the best I can say is they were mutilated. Their bellies, arms and necks had giant holes in them. Scratches covered their bodies, and most were unrecognizable. But one thing these corpses had in common with the purged was there was no blood, not a single drop. How was that? Smack. Help me please, you have to help me. The slap at my window had made me jump, slamming the brakes, just barely running over the woman's foot. Turning to my left side window, I could see a woman close to my age. Funny thing was I recognized her. I seen her on morning walks, her shiny blonde hair reflecting the sun, her eyes as blue as the ocean. But now her hair was covered in dirt and dust, her eyes filled with fear and pleadings. Please, let me in, those things are gonna kill me. Things? What things? Did she mean the things? That has to have been what she meant. What other things could she be talking about? Oh okay, just calm down. My eyes saw a small little bump on her pant pocket. What's in your pocket? I asked her, probably more accusingly than I wanted it to be. What thing? She asked, most likely trying to hide the nervousness in her voice. Luckily for me, I could see right through it. The thing. What do you have in your pocket? What is I? Open the fucking door. Without warning she exploded like she suddenly became possessed by a demon. Open the fucking door you motherfucking bitch. You stupid fucking shithead. She was screaming, slamming her fist on the window as she yelled at me to open the door. I felt a chill down my spine, my mind knew what was going to happen. She was too loud. Hey, be quiet, shut the hell up. It was no use, she kept screaming. You bastard. Open the door, you're going to rot in hell. You're going to. She was cut off as she emitted a yelp of pain. A small goblin-like rat jumped onto her back and sunk its jagged teeth deep into her jugular. She stumbled back, but managed to maintain her posture, as she pulled out the object in her pocket, which she revealed to be a small pocket knife, attempting to stab the thing in the head. The goblin was faster however, as one of its arm grabbed her arm, and jumped off her back. Even in the car, I could hear it snap in two, her wails echoing off into the houses. Then two more came, wandering out of the doors of the houses. One had a long body, walking on 6 legs which were similar to a scorpion, its face and its 2 front legs looking fat like a mantis. The second walked on 2 hind legs, its face in an oval shape, with no lips to hide its teeth that formed a zigzag. They completely ignored me, instead joking the goblin in its feast, tearing at the woman's stomach and neck. Looking back I realized they weren't ravenously consuming her flesh, in fact they were specifically targeting her arteries and veins, and I swear I was able to hear them giggle and laugh as they drank her blood like it was a juice box. This was also the moment I saw a new terrifying fact. The more they drank, the more their muscles and limbs stretched and their bodies bulged. They were getting bigger. They increased in size by about 4 inches, and once they had finished their meal, they turned their attention towards me. While she was being consumed, I remained in a trance, watching almost in fascination as they enjoyed their meal. But as they turned their heads, I looked forward and hit the gas. A loud thud came when the goblin jumped on my car's bonnet, and began slamming its fist-only windshield, creating a large crash. I swerved my car back and forth, in an effort to get it off. In a reaction, it sunk its claws deep into my car to stay on. Taking a quick glance at my rearview mirror, I could see the other red speed walking quickly behind me. In the split second I looked away, my car slammed into an electric pole in such force, not even the goblin was able to hold on. I saw it fly and roll in the road, and I took my chance, opening the door and getting out of the car, running to run off to one of the house's open doors. I ran upstairs, picked a room, and shut the door. My heart was going a million miles an hour, my lungs unable to hold all the oxygen I brought into my body. But after I calmed down, I heard the soft breathing behind me,